As we grow older, many of us find ourselves gradually drifting away from social gatherings and becoming more inclined to seek solitude. Have you ever wondered why this shift happens? In today's video, we're going to explore the reasons behind this change in our social behavior and what it reveals about our evolving needs and priorities. Understanding these changes is essential, as it can provide valuable insights into how we can maintain meaningful relationships and manage social expectations as we age. Stick with us until the end to discover how embracing solitude can lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life, and learn practical tips for navigating social interactions gracefully in your later years. Before we begin, I'd appreciate it if you could give this video a like. It helps me continue sharing valuable lessons for older adults. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And if you like this video, please leave a comment with the number 1. If you don't, comment 0 so I know how I can improve and create better content for you. Now, let's get started. When we were younger, there was something inherently joyful about inviting friends over for a meal or simply enjoying a conversation in the comfort of our homes. At home, we felt a sense of freedom that we didn't experience in the more formal setting of a restaurant. The atmosphere was relaxed, which allowed for open and honest conversation, helping to build deeper connections between friends. We took turns visiting each other's houses, and through these exchanges, our bonds grew stronger. Back then, we believed that sincerity was the cornerstone of friendship, and we cherished the authenticity that came with our relationships. However, as time passed, societal norms began to shift. The value we once placed on sincerity now seems overshadowed by a culture of superficiality and pretense. Genuine individuals have become rarer, and the ideals we once held dear about friendship and honesty are increasingly challenged. The saying, "Those who approach red become red, and those who approach ink become black," captures this transformation perfectly. It illustrates how our environment can influence our values and perceptions. In today's world, it's not surprising that our views on friendship have changed. We find ourselves less inclined to invite others into our homes, with lower expectations of forming meaningful connections. The relationships we build now may feel less authentic, as politeness and pretense take center stage. Take Mr. Lee, for example. At 50 years old, he has developed a preference for solitude. His routine is simple. He stays at home when he chooses and goes out for exercise as needed. Social visits are rare, and when he does meet with friends, it's usually at a restaurant rather than in his own home. His relatives have noticed this shift in his behavior and often wonder about his apparent detachment. Mr. Lee explains that as people age, their lifestyles inevitably change. With the accumulation of life experiences and a broader perspective, his approach to social interactions has naturally evolved. What once felt essential and fulfilling in youth has been replaced by a new set of priorities and preferences. He enjoys a tranquil life, finding joy in solitary activities like sipping tea, tending to his garden, or fishing alone. He also treasures time spent with his family, appreciating the warmth and happiness that comes from being with loved ones. Over time, he's distanced himself from social engagements, realizing that those who come and go frequently in life aren't always true friends. Instead of participating in insincere pleasantries, he finds it more fulfilling to embrace solitude and freedom. This shift in behavior is common among the elderly. As they grow older, they develop their own rhythm and routines, becoming more selective about their social interactions. Many individuals become more hesitant to visit others' homes. They may view it as a hassle or an inconvenience, especially if they feel that things won't be as accommodating or easygoing as in their own home. The potential for discomfort or trouble makes visits less appealing. As a result, many elderly people choose to minimize their social visits. There are several reasons for this preference. For one, visiting others can sometimes feel like a disturbance. Each family has its dynamics, and as people age, they may feel that they cannot fully represent their own family in someone else's home. Even when a friend extends an invitation out of courtesy, there's no guarantee that their family will feel equally welcoming. It's possible that the visit might be seen as an interruption. For instance, Uncle Ma, my next-door neighbor, once commented that I can be somewhat thoughtless and unreflective. One day I ran into a high school classmate in our community, and we discovered that we lived in the same neighborhood. Naturally, being in my 60s, it was a pleasant surprise to reconnect with an old friend. The classmate invited Uncle Ma and me over for a modest meal and drinks. If you're still with me and finding these lessons useful, please comment the number 1 below. Let me know you're still watching, and thank you for staying engaged with me throughout this video. Uncle Ma, who has a deep fondness for drinking but lacks regular drinking companions, was especially delighted by the opportunity to visit his old classmate. He looked forward to these visits with enthusiasm, often bringing a few dishes along on weekends to share. However, his classmate's wife seemed visibly uncomfortable whenever he arrived. Despite this, Uncle Ma brushed off the odd expressions and continued to enjoy his time drinking and chatting with his friend. Over the next few weeks, Uncle Ma made it a point to visit his friend every few days, always bringing food and drink. It was during one of these visits that his classmate finally spoke up, expressing concern about the frequent gatherings. He said, "Every weekend you come to drink, and my wife and children have big concerns. They feel their daily life is being disrupted." This revelation struck Uncle Ma. He had taken the initial invitation at face value and assumed his presence was genuinely welcomed. He hadn't realized that his regular visits might be causing discomfort. In old age, one of the greatest fears is a lack of activities or social interaction, and as a result, having someone to converse with can be a significant source of joy and engagement. Many elderly people find solace in frequent visits with neighbors or friends, as it helps pass the time and enrich their daily lives. However, while these social interactions can be fulfilling, they also come with potential drawbacks. Frequent visits might lead to unintended consequences, such as misunderstandings or inappropriate comments that can cause unnecessary trouble or disputes. Thus, while regular socializing can enhance life, it is important to be mindful of the balance between maintaining meaningful connections and respecting others' boundaries. Miss Wong, who lives upstairs, has found that she prefers the solitude of staying home and watching dramas over visiting others. Her aversion to visiting others stems from past conflicts she experienced with her daughter-in-law. On one occasion, her son scolded her harshly because of these visits, despite her enthusiasm. After retirement, Miss Wong engaged in lively square dancing with fellow community ladies, but her experiences made her wary of social interactions. On rainy days when dancing isn't feasible, she and her friends take turns visiting each other's homes to chat and enjoy a meal together. During one such visit to Mr. Lee's house, a conversation arose about relationships with daughters-in-law. In a seemingly casual comment, Miss Wong remarked on her daughter-in-law's perceived lack of initiative around the house and expressed that marrying an only child might sometimes lead to challenges, as the individual may be somewhat spoiled. Though Miss Wong intended to engage in light-hearted conversation, her comment somehow reached her daughter-in-law. This led to a misunderstanding, creating the impression that Miss Wong was dissatisfied with her daughter-in-law. The situation quickly became uncomfortable. Miss Wong attempted to explain herself, but her daughter-in-law responded with a frosty demeanor, and her son reprimanded her for engaging in gossip. This incident reinforced Miss Wong's belief that visiting others can lead to complications. She concluded that it's better to focus on dancing, keep conversations minimal, and avoid getting too close to others. In her view, minimizing the exchange of words helped prevent misunderstandings and preserved harmony in her social interactions. Thirdly, varying economic conditions can contribute to psychological imbalance. Even within the same community, families can experience significant differences in their financial situations. When families with disparate economic statuses frequently visit each other, the disparity can become evident. The wealthier family might unintentionally exhibit signs of superiority, making the less affluent family feel uncomfortable and creating a psychological divide. This contrast can lead to feelings of inadequacy or envy, as even the elderly may subconsciously compare their circumstances to those of others. Such comparisons can add mental strain and undermine the enjoyment of social interactions. Frequent visits between families with large economic differences can exacerbate feelings of comparison and jealousy, turning what should be a pleasant social interaction into a source of emotional burden. It's often more harmonious to live one's own life without frequent visits or invitations. Maintaining a peaceful, independent lifestyle can avoid these issues and lead to greater contentment. Observations during festive seasons can illustrate this shift in social behavior. Traditionally, people would visit each other for New Year greetings, but nowadays, many prefer staying home, resting, and browsing their phones. This change is not necessarily a loss of interest in traditional celebrations, but rather a reflection of modern life's exhaustion and the lack of genuine emotional connections. Socializing and visiting may seem meaningless when life feels overwhelming and hurried. Unless life slows down and people's hearts return to a state of tranquility, the pace of life will continue to accelerate, making solitude a more attractive and preferred lifestyle. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment the number 2 below to let me know you're still with me. Many people, especially in their younger years, may shy away from solitude, mistakenly equating it with loneliness. They often feel self-conscious about having few friends, misunderstanding it as a sign of social failure, rather than recognizing it as a profound opportunity for self-discovery and growth. Only as time passes do we come to realize the true value of living well for ourselves amidst life's complexities. This realization can be both liberating and empowering. As life becomes more intricate and challenging, the warmth and love for family often become more pronounced. This deeper appreciation for loved ones can bring a sense of fulfillment and inner peace. Indifference toward acquaintances or the outer world becomes less important, while the authenticity and depth of relationships with family members take center stage. In old age, it's natural to maintain contact with a select group of friends and family members, yet frequent visits to others' homes can often lead to unnecessary stress and complications. The act of visiting can sometimes feel burdensome and taxing, creating more trouble than joy. When gatherings are desired, choosing neutral, external locations can alleviate the physical and mental strain that hosting at home might bring. This approach not only lightens the load, but also fosters a more relaxed and enjoyable atmosphere for everyone involved. The goal is to create a harmonious balance that avoids the pressures of hosting and entertaining, allowing for meaningful interactions without the added stress. As we age, the importance of learning to be alone becomes increasingly evident. The gradual departure of friends and loved ones can leave a profound sense of emptiness. Embracing solitude is not about resigning oneself to loneliness, but about finding comfort and strength within oneself. Adapting to being alone is a journey of self-discovery and resilience, helping us to face future challenges with greater fortitude. Solitude, when embraced with an open heart, offers a chance for introspection, personal growth, and a deeper connection with one's inner self. It can be a source of tranquility and a refuge from the complexities of life, providing the strength needed to navigate the inevitable changes that come with aging. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed today. What have you learned about the transition from sociability to solitude as we age? How has this understanding shaped your view on social interactions and personal space? We'd love to hear from you. Please share in the comments below one thing you've learned and how you plan to apply it in your own life. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.